Name a franchise where every single installment was a hit. Marvel, Star Wars, Fast and Furious, James Bond, Pixar. Every one of them has at least one miss. At least one film the studio pretends didn't happen. Harry Potter. 8 films. Not a single one flopped. The Worst Performer, Prisoner of Azkaban, widely considered the best film, still cleared $796 million. The finale crossed $1.34 billion. But the train hasn't stopped. Yet. This video is about the franchise's cultural and commercial impact, not an endorsement of J.K. Rowling's personal views. 600 million copies. Translated into 85 languages, including Latin and Ancient Greek. And on the day the Deathly Hallows launched, 96 copies per second, 8.3 million in 24 hours. Bookstores stayed open until midnight. Kids showed up in wizard robes. The line went around the block. It was a cultural event with a barcode on it. Warner Brothers paid $1 million for the rights in 1999. That bet is currently worth $25 billion. Most franchises swing. A great entry, then a weak sequel, then a comeback. Marvel's worst film made $264 million. Star Wars had Solo at $393. Fast and Furious bottomed out at $155. Harry Potter's floor? $796. The franchise doesn't really have bad years, it just has years that are slightly less enormous. Here's what's easy to forget now. Before 2001, fantasy wasn't serious cinema. It was cult followings and B-movies with no blockbuster traction. In November 2001, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings opened 1 month apart. Look at the stacked area. You can see the genre erupt. Potter and Lord of the Rings are massive colored blocks dominating the chart from 2001 to 2011. And then, look at what happens after. Lord of the Rings wraps in 2003. Harry Potter's last film lands in 2011. And the fantasy box office craters. What fills the vacuum? Marvel takes the blockbuster audience and turns it into the superhero era. Game of Thrones takes the fantasy tone and moves it to TV. 65% of the 20 highest-grossing films ever are now fantasy or sci-fi. Before Potter and Lord of the Rings, that was close to 0. By 2001, Potter and Lord of the Rings were the 2 biggest things in cinema. Return of the King swept 11 Oscars. Marvel's Iron Man launched in 2008. And then, in 2011, 2 things happened in the same year. The final Potter film hit theaters, and Game of Thrones premiered on HBO. The kids who grew up in Hogwarts and Middle-earth graduated to Westeros. Now it's 2026. HBO is bringing Harry Potter back as a series, Christmas Day. The showrunner is from Succession. The director is from Game of Thrones. The wand is being handed to people who know what to do with it. Warner Brothers Discovery is already calling it the biggest streaming event in history. Game of Thrones Season 8 averaged 44 million viewers an episode, the biggest thing HBO has ever aired. And the internal target for Harry Potter is higher. They're planning to clear it. Now, you've heard this kind of confidence before, and usually it doesn't end well. Star Wars pumped out 4 Disney Plus shows, and most of them bled viewers by episode 3. Rings of Power cost Amazon $250 million and landed to mixed reviews and declining Season 2 numbers. House of the Dragon opened huge and lost a third of its audience by the finale. The franchise reboot has become Hollywood's favorite bet, and it almost never pays what the studio expects. So why would Harry Potter be any different? Because of this: $9.5 billion in box office, $7.7 billion in book sales, $5 billion in merchandise and games, $2.8 billion in theme parks, $25 billion total. No other franchise being rebooted right now has a foundation this deep. Star Wars and Lord of the Rings are beloved, but they don't have a pre-built audience that renews itself every generation through the books. And there's one more thing. Look at the search interest over 20 years. Every other franchise reboot launches into a world that's half forgotten it. Harry Potter doesn't have that problem. The interest spikes with every release, dips when the franchise goes quiet, but it never flatlines. In 2001, a generation of 8-year-olds walked into a theater and saw Hogwarts for the first time. This Christmas, a new generation of 8-year-olds will sit on the couch and see it for their first time. Different kids, same magic. Most franchises come back hoping you remember how you felt. This one doesn't need you to remember. Your kids already found it on their own, and you never left.